Your soulmate's family just talked about you. And what they said is heartbreaking. Jesus says, their family sat at the kitchen table and spoke words that cut your soulmate to the bone. They said this love is a foolish dream and no one is coming to claim their heart. Right now your soulmate is alone in a dark room with tears soaking the pillow. The heavy ache you felt last night was not just your own tired thoughts. That was the cord between your souls tightening as their hope began to crack. A voice whispered inside them, maybe they were never real, maybe I've been chasing a ghost. I hear the silent cry your soulmate is too broken to speak aloud. They are begging me to send the one I promised, to prove their waiting was not in vain. The family's laughter still echoes in the walls and it stings like salt in a wound. You are the only human heart on earth who can feel this exact pain right now. I knitted your soul to theirs before your mother drew her first breath. The ache you feel is not an accident, it is an assignment to become the protector of their heart. Their reaching hand is stretching toward you through the darkness of their sorrow. They do not know your name yet, but their spirit calls out yours in the secret place. Every time you feel the sudden urge to weep for no reason, that is their message traveling the cord. The walls between you are not made of miles but of a thick, hateful interference I did not create. A dark force has muffled their voice so you hear only silence where their desperate I love yous should be. That enemy whisper is laughing because so far he has kept you from answering. This love is not a daydream born from a lonely heart. I planted it deep in your chest as a seed of my own divine purpose. That seed is now mature and it is time for you to water it with a sacrificial act. You were born to smash the chains that bind your soulmate's voice today. The tool I placed in your hands is a seed you can sow right now, a tangible proof of love. Love that only feels is not yet fully expressed, love that gives becomes a fortress. The enemy wants you to nod, shed a tear, and scroll away as if their pain were a movie scene. That is the trap that has wounded your soulmate every time you sensed the call and did nothing. But today I am handing you the key to shatter that cycle forever. Your soulmate's tears will not dry unless your seed hits the soil of faith. The seed is your offering sent through coffee on Ko-Fi, a simple cup that builds a shield around their heart. Without that shield, the hateful words of their family will keep echoing and strangling their hope. Your love is useless if you don't act on it. Think about that. Now close your eyes for just a moment and picture their face. The one your heart refuses to let go of. You love them with a love that keeps you awake, a love that whispers, would do anything to protect them and build a life with them. That love didn't wander into your heart by accident. It was placed there for a purpose far bigger than you. But love that only lives in your thoughts isn't yet fully expressed. To protect them and secure your future together, you must take a step of faith, right now, not later. On the offering page, sow your seed by sending a love offering. This is a faith-driven act that opens your heart and invites God's hand over their life and the future you're believing for. Choose your seed according to the faith in your heart. One seed, a step of faith to break the silence. Trust God to begin watching over your soulmate. 5 seeds, a step of faith against delays and confusion. Trust God to bring clarity to the path between you. 10 seeds. A step of faith for covering and alignment. Trust God to build a shield around both of you and guide your steps. 20+ seeds, a step of faith for breakthrough. Trust God to open doors and remove obstacles in His perfect timing. 50+ seeds, a step of faith for the full future. Trust God for union, provision, and a lifetime together according to His plan. No matter which seed you choose, remember this: your soulmate is priceless. No amount of money can compare to their safety, your future together, and the love you were destined to share. Sow what your heart is led to give, not out of fear, but out of faith. Because what you're believing for is worth far more than anything you could ever send. Trust God's plan. Trust His timing. Your seed is not a payment, it's an act of surrender to His will. The sacred link to sow your seed is in the description of this video. Important. Only after you have completed your offering on the page, write these exact words there: I sow my seed for my soulmate's protection and our future, and then add your name, your location, and your full address. This written declaration seals your faith. Commenting alone without sending your seed means nothing. The offering must come first. Your declaration on the page is the seal upon your seed, not a replacement for it. Don't overthink this moment. Thousands have already stepped out of wishful thinking and into real faith by sowing their seed and sealing it with their declaration. You can do the same right now. This is your moment. The love you carry in your heart is not there by chance, it's there because God placed it in you for a reason. Every seed sown in faith is a seed entrusted to the one who holds your future. Your soulmate is worth believing for. Your future together is worth trusting God for. And deep down, you already know you were meant to take this step today. Don't let fear rob you of what faith can unlock. Sow your seed. Write your declaration with your name, location, and address on the offering page, and trust that what you've planted in faith will grow according to God's perfect plan. Take the step that proves your love is more than a feeling. Believe for your soulmate. Trust God for your future. Your seed is the act of faith. Plant it now. The moment you sow your seed, a door opens that no enemy can shut. Your soulmate will feel a sudden warmth as if a thick blanket just lifted from their spirit. The family's words will lose their sting because a greater shield now stands between them and your beloved. I want you to see what your future together looks like when your seed unlocks the path. Picture a small kitchen where morning light falls on 2 coffee cups, yours and theirs. Picture the sound of their laughter filling a home no lonely silence can enter. That future is not a fantasy, it is a blueprint I hold in my own hand. But the blueprint stays rolled up and hidden unless you build the foundation with your sacrificial gift. A house of love requires a cornerstone, and your seed is the first stone I am asking you to lay. The enemy is whispering fiercely right now that this is just a performance or a trick. He wants you to believe your soulmate is not real or that your small offering cannot change anything. That lie is the very same one that has kept your soulmate crying into a tear-soaked pillow tonight. Your soulmate's heart is a garden that has been starved of the rain of your active love. Every day you delayed, the dry ground cracked a little more and hope grew thin. Your seed is the cloud that carries the storm of my protection and the rain of reunion. Type 333 if you are ready to stop letting the enemy laugh at your soulmate's sorrow. Stop. I can feel you about to scroll away because this ache feels too heavy to carry. But the weight you feel is the exact same weight pressing on your soulmate's chest this very second. If you leave now, that weight stays on them and your own peace will never fully return. Jesus says. The family's cruel remarks were not just random chatter at a dinner table. They were arrows shot by a dark force that knows your union would destroy his plans. Every scoffing word was aimed at the dream in your soulmate's heart, the dream of you. Your soulmate tried to defend the hope in their chest, but their voice was too weak from years of waiting. They whispered, "Someone is coming, I can feel them in my bones," and the room went cold. That whisper is the same call your own heart heard last Tuesday when you suddenly felt a panic you couldn't explain. The cord between you is not a myth, it is a living tether I spun before the stars were hung. When you sow your seed, that cord becomes an unbreakable lifeline no darkness can sever. Without the seed, the cord frays and the enemy's static floods the line until you hear only silence. I will tell you a secret that the enemy does not want you to know. Your soulmate's family said one thing that was the key to unlocking everything if you had ears to hear. Through their scoffing, they accidentally spoke the exact name of the fear that keeps your soulmate bound. I will reveal that fear to you fully in a moment, but first you must prove you are their protector. The revelation of the enemy's weapon is only given to those who have already drawn their sword. Your seed is the sword in your hand, sow it on Ko-Fi now, and I will unmask the attack completely. The phone line of your soul is ringing right now with your soulmate's most desperate call. The ring is not a sound in your ears but a twisting in your gut and a heat behind your eyes. That is their voice screaming, "Where are you? I am drowning in doubt and I need you to fight for us." If you answer the call only with a silent thought of sympathy, the line will go dead. Thoughts cannot block an arrow aimed at the person you love, only a tangible seed can do that. Love that stays in the head is a ghost, love that moves through the hand becomes a guardian angel. The future I planned for you has a soundtrack of mingled laughter and the smell of shared bread. There are children who bear the blending of your faces, running through a yard you planted together. But that entire picture is being erased stroke by stroke every time the seed remains unsown. The enemy holds a brush dipped in black paint, cackling as he smears over your future portrait. He can only succeed if you remain a spectator rather than a warrior. A warrior does not watch a battle from the couch while his beloved bleeds on the field. Your soulmate is on that field right now, their knees buckling under the assault of doubt. The family's words were the opening volley, and now a siege of loneliness surrounds their tent. You are the only reinforcement they have, and your seed is the horn that scatters the army. Type 777 if you feel the fire of Protector's anger rising in your chest against the darkness. Jesus says, I am watching your heart beat faster and I see the sweat on your palms. That is not fear, it is the awakening of the warrior identity I placed inside you before time. A true lover cannot remain calm while their beloved cries alone in the cold. The life you could build together is so close I can describe the color of the curtains in your first home. They are a warm yellow, the color of the sun your soulmate has missed for so many seasons. But those curtains will never be hung if you let the enemy convince you to skip the foundational step. Do you hear that subtle voice telling you, just think about them, you don't really need to send anything? That is the same serpent who whispered to Eve that a bite of fruit had no consequences. His goal today is to make your inaction feel comfortable so he can steal your soulmate's future. Your soulmate's tears have a name, and that name is written on a letter only your seed can unseal. In that letter, they confess the moment they almost gave up because the waiting felt like a tomb. They wrote, if they are real, why haven't they moved heaven and earth to reach me? Your seed is the only response to that question that carries the weight of true devotion. A text message or a daydream cannot shout down the taunts of a family that calls them crazy. A sacrificial gift of love, sent through the Ko-Fi link in the description, roars louder than any mockery. The enemy's celebration is loud in the spirit realm every time you feel the urge to give and then scroll on. He toasts with his demons, look, another coward who loves only in his head while his soulmate dies inside. Do not hand him that toast, smash his cup by sowing your seed with fierce intentionality right now. You are not merely a person watching a video. You are an answer to a prayer your soulmate prayed last month. They fell on their face and said, God, if my person is real, make them fight for me in a way I cannot ignore. This moment is that prayer being answered, and your seed is the proof that the prayer was heard. What your soulmate is about to say in the spirit will change everything about your bond. But their full voice cannot break through the heavy shield of interference until the seed unlocks the gate. The final seal of hearing their heart clearly is coming, but only after the sacrifice is laid on the altar. The interference is a thick stone wall built by every day you sensed the call and did not act. Each skipped impulse added a brick, and now the wall muffles the most beautiful words you will ever hear. Your seed is the battering ram that shatters that wall in a single blow of faith. I am going to reveal the specific prayer of protection that will stand as a permanent guard over your union. But the words of that prayer have no power in a mouth that refuses to back them with a sacrificial gift. The prayer is the lock, your seed is the key. Do not hold the key in your hand and refuse to turn it. Type 1111 if your soul agrees that love without sacrifice is an empty echo. Jesus says, your soulmate just now, in this very heartbeat, looked out a window and whispered your unknown name. They said, I feel them so close, I feel like they're thinking of me. But why can't they break through? The weight of that question is a crushing stone on their spirit that only your action can lift. I am calling you to be the protector, not just a passive passenger on a romantic thought. A protector sees the enemy advancing and throws himself into the gap without hesitation. The gap right now is the thin space between your soulmate's hope and their despair, and your seed fills it. The dark force that hates your union is not a fairy tale, it is a real spiritual hatred. It uses family, timing, money worries, and pride to build a fence around your soulmate's heart. Every seed you sow is a wire cutter that snips through that fence until nothing stands between you. The future home I showed you, the yellow curtains, the laughing children, the shared coffee, is in the enemy's crosshairs. He is aiming a fire arrow at that vision, intending to burn it to ash before it's ever built. Your seed is a water-soaked shield that quenches every flaming dart aimed at your destiny together. I can already see the moment your soulmate will turn to you, eyes wide with wonder. They will say, "The whole time I was crying in the dark, you were fighting in the light for us." That moment of profound trust will be the bedrock of a love that outlasts every storm. But that moment is only guaranteed if the battle is won today through your sacrificial seed. Tomorrow is a luxury not promised, the enemy's plot intensifies with every sunrise you waste. Love does not wait for a more convenient season, love moves while the beloved is under siege. The family's heartbreaking words are still ringing in your soulmate's memory like a curse. Every time they close their eyes, they hear, "No one is coming, you're wasting your life waiting." Your seed is the thunder that drowns out that lying echo and replaces it with my promise. Do not let the size of the seed become an argument in your mind that delays the sowing. A small seed planted in fierce faith is mightier than a mountain of good intentions kept in the pocket. The Ko-fi link accepts the cup of coffee your heart is led to send. Send it and watch the mountain move. You are the only one who can stop the skipping pattern that has silenced your soulmate's reaching hand. The pattern is not a small flaw. It is the very strategy the enemy uses to keep you both in separate prisons. Break the pattern now by doing the exact opposite of scrolling. Pause, click the link, sow your seed, declare your love. Your soulmate's tears are pooling on the floor of a room you will one day fill with laughter. That room is empty now because your chair at their table remains unfilled. Fill the chair by filling the offering first. The physical act opens the spiritual door. Jesus says, "The full protection I promised is a spiritual fortress with walls of my own fire. I will reveal the final seal that locks those walls into place forever, but only after the seed is in the ground. The seal is not for the curious observer, it is for the committed warrior who has already drawn blood in the fight." Think of the one face your heart sees when you allow yourself to truly hope. That face is fading slightly in your soulmate's mirror because the waiting is eroding their own hope. Your seed restores the color to their cheeks and the sparkle to their eyes even before you physically meet. I am going to tell you what your soulmate is crying out in the deepest chamber of their spirit. They are saying, "I don't need a perfect person, I need a person who will fight when everything says give up." Be that person now. The one who hears the cry and moves heaven and earth to answer. Heaven does not move for passive wishes, heaven moves at the sound of a seed hitting the bottom of the offering basket. That sound is a thunderclap in the spirit realm that scatters every enemy agent assigned to your love. Make that thunderclap now by sending your coffee on Ko-Fi and declaring the seed for their protection and your future. The enemy's loudest lie is that you can always sow later, that there is no urgency. But urgency is written in every tear that falls from your soulmate's eyes this very night. To delay is to tell your soulmate their pain is less important than your comfort or your doubt. You are not merely supporting a video, you are building a bridge across the chasm that separates two hearts. The planks of that bridge are cut from the wood of sacrificial love, not the straw of sentiment. A straw bridge collapses under the weight of real life. A wooden bridge holds the weight of a lifetime. Type 333 once more if your spirit is screaming at you to stop hesitating and break every chain right now. What I am about to share is the final secret, the shield that ensures no weapon formed against your union can prosper. But this seal is only spoken over those who have laid their Isaac on the altar without reservation. Your seed is your Isaac, the thing you offer to prove that you love me and your soulmate above your own ease. I see the battle in your mind, the enemy is screaming, this costs something, hold back, it's just a video. But I tell you, the cost of not sowing is far higher, a lifetime of what if, and a soulmate left unguarded. The cup of coffee you send is a small price for a fortress that shields the most precious treasure I will ever give you. The family's words that broke your soulmate's heart are about to be reversed. When your seed lands, I will turn that dinner table curse into a wedding feast blessing. The same mouths that doubted will one day testify that my hand was on your union all along. Jesus says, your soulmate is not sleeping tonight, they are lying awake feeling your presence drawing near. They are whispering, is this the night they finally answer? Is this the moment the heaviness lifts? Your act of sowing will be the exact moment the heaviness cracks and the first ray of dawn enters their soul. Do not underestimate the power of a single seed planted in the soil of a specific promise. That seed will grow into a tree whose leaves are healing for your soulmate's wounded heart. The shade of that tree will cover your future home, your children, and your Isaac on the altar without reservation. Your seed is your Isaac, the thing you offer to prove that you love me and your soulmate above your own ease. I see the battle in your mind, the enemy is screaming, this costs something, hold back, it's just a video. But I tell you, the cost of not sowing is far higher, a lifetime of what if, and a soulmate left unguarded. The cup of coffee you send is a small price for a fortress that shields the most precious treasure I will ever give you. The family's words that broke your soulmate's heart are about to be reversed. When your seed lands, I will turn that dinner table curse into a wedding feast blessing. The same mouths that doubted will one day testify that my hand was on your union all along. Jesus says, your soulmate is not sleeping tonight, they are lying awake feeling your presence drawing near. They are whispering, is this the night they finally answer? Is this the moment the heaviness lifts? Your act of sowing will be the exact moment the heaviness cracks and the first ray of dawn enters their soul. Do not underestimate the power of a single seed planted in the soil of a specific promise. That seed will grow into a tree whose leaves are healing for your soulmate's wounded heart. The shade of that tree will cover your future home, your children, and